Have you ever met someone who looks at you a little too long, then pretends they didn't? Or someone who's extra kind yet strangely distant, as if they're building a wall around something they don't want you to see? It's confusing, right? Because deep down you can feel something real there, but they're doing everything to hide it. Here's the truth. Sometimes, the people who care the most are the ones who fight the hardest to hide it. Maybe it's fear of rejection. Maybe they've been hurt before, or maybe they're just not ready to face what they feel. But feelings have a funny way of slipping through the cracks. Through small gestures, tiny reactions, and moments they can't control. In this video, you'll discover 6 tiny, often unnoticed signs that someone is secretly fighting their feelings for you. These are not the obvious signs everyone talks about. These are the subtle clues hidden in their tone, their timing, and the way they show up when it matters most. By the end, you'll not only understand what those signs mean, but also why people hide their emotions even when they want you the most. So before you assume they don't care, stay with me till the end. You might realize that someone close to you has been battling their own heart. Quietly, behind the scenes. Welcome to Psycho Library, where we decode human emotions and hidden psychology in everyday life. If you love learning about relationships, behavior, and what people don't say out loud, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss our next insight. Before we talk about the signs, it's important to understand what it really means when someone is fighting their feelings. It's not that they don't feel anything for you. In fact, it's usually the opposite. They feel too much, and that's exactly what scares them. When someone likes you but doesn't act on it, it's often because they're holding back. They might tell themselves it's not the right time, or they might convince themselves that you wouldn't feel the same way. So instead of showing what's in their heart, they hide it behind small walls, distance, excuses, or pretending not to care. Sometimes comes from fear of rejection, the worry that opening up will only lead to pain. Other times, they're just not ready. Maybe they're still healing from a past heartbreak or struggling with self-doubt. And for some, it's about control. They don't want to lose their balance or look vulnerable, so they bury what they feel deep inside. But here's the tricky part. When someone fights their emotions, their behavior becomes confusing. They might act distant one moment and caring the next. They'll do things that make you wonder, do they like me or not? And that confusion can make you question your own feelings too. That's why understanding this emotional battle matters. Because once you know why they're holding back, you'll start to see the hidden clues they can't completely hide. Sign 1, nervous or awkward around you. Before we talk about the deeper signs, let's start with one of the simplest, yet most revealing clues: nervousness. When someone is fighting their feelings for you, they often can't stay completely calm in your presence. They might stumble over their words, laugh at the wrong time, or suddenly forget what they were about to say. It's not because they're shy or awkward by nature. It's because your presence stirs something inside them that they're trying hard to control. You might notice small things, fidgeting with their hands, avoiding eye contact, or acting a little too serious when you're around. These are subtle ways their body betrays what their heart is trying to hide. It's almost like their emotions are racing ahead, but their mind is pulling the brakes. When someone is truly indifferent, they don't feel the need to overthink their actions. But when feelings are involved, every word, every glance suddenly feels important. They become hyper-aware of how they sound, how they look, what they say, and in that overthinking, they end up acting strange or tense. So, if a person who's usually confident becomes clumsy or overly cautious around you, it might not be a lack of confidence at all. It could be their way of protecting the truth they're not ready to admit, that being near you makes them feel something deeper than they can handle. Notice how their normal self shifts when you enter the room. That change, however small, often speaks louder than words. Sign 2, stealing glances, secret looks. Before we talk about the more complex signs, let's pause for one that almost always gives people away: the way they look at you. When someone is fighting their feelings, they often try to keep their emotions hidden behind silence. But the eyes, they rarely cooperate. You might catch them looking at you when they think you're not paying attention. It could be during a group conversation, across a room, or in a quiet moment when everything else fades. And the second you meet their eyes, They look away, pretending it never happened. That quick glance, that tiny flicker of panic, that's not just coincidence. It's emotion trying to escape before reason shuts it down. People who have no feelings don't have to monitor where they look, but someone who's secretly drawn to you will constantly battle between wanting to look and trying not to get caught. Their gaze lingers just a second too long, then disappears as if they're afraid you'll see the truth in it. Sometimes, they might cover it with casual glances, pretending they were just looking around. Other times, they'll smile, shift their attention, or busy themselves with something else, but their eyes will always find their way back to you. No matter how hard they try not to, pay attention to those unguarded moments. The quick eye contact that happens before they remember to hide it, because the eyes reveal what the heart refuses to admit. Sign 3, mixed signals, hot and cold. Before we talk about the next sign, let's look at one that confuses almost everyone. Mixed signals. One moment they're warm, laughing, and fully engaged with you. And the next, they seem distant, distracted, or completely unavailable. It feels like emotional whiplash, and you're left wondering what changed. When someone is fighting their feelings, this push and pull becomes their way of coping. Their heart wants to be close to you. It feels natural, safe, and right, but their mind keeps warning them to slow down, to stay guarded, to not get too attached, so they end up swinging between wanting you and protecting themselves from you. You'll notice they might start a deep conversation one day, sharing personal things, then suddenly act like it never happened. They might text you often for a week, then go silent for days. They might act jealous, then pretend they don't care at all. It's not that they're playing games, it's that they're struggling with their own emotions. This back and forth behavior isn't about manipulation. It's about fear and vulnerability. They're afraid of losing control, of getting hurt, of being the one who cares more. So they build distance every time they feel themselves getting too close. If you pay close attention, you'll notice the inconsistency, not in what they say, but in how they act. That inconsistency is the real signal, because people who don't care stay steady. But people who are fighting their feelings move in waves, pulled in by emotion, pushed back by fear. Sign 4, they show up when you need them. Before we talk about the next subtle sign, let's focus on something that often goes unnoticed: their presence when it matters most. They might not confess their feelings. They might even act like you're just a friend. But when life gets heavy, when you're upset, or when you need support, somehow they're always there. They check on you when you're quiet. They offer help without you asking. They remember the little things you said and bring them up at the right time. It's not about grand gestures or big declarations. It's about quiet consistency. Even if they're busy, they make time. Even if it's inconvenient, they show up. When someone is fighting their feelings, actions become their language. They may not be ready to say, "I care about you," but their behavior says it for them. Helping you gives them a safe way to stay close without crossing the line they're afraid of. It allows them to be part of your world, to feel connected, without the pressure of admitting what's really going on inside. You'll notice this kind of person often appears at just the right moment. When you're sad, stressed, or unsure, it's like they have a quiet radar tuned to your emotions. They might not know how to express love openly, but their instinct to protect and support you comes naturally. Reflect for a moment. Is there someone who always seems to show up for you, even when they don't have to? That's not coincidence. That's care wrapped in restraint. Sign 5, they seem jealous or protective. Before we talk about the next sign, let's explore one that often reveals what words can't: jealousy and protectiveness. When someone is fighting their feelings for you, they may try hard to act calm and casual, but the moment you mention another person, someone texting you, complimenting you, or showing interest, you'll see a tiny shift in their behavior. Maybe their tone changes. Maybe they suddenly go quiet, or make a small joke that doesn't sound like a joke. Or maybe they start asking harmless questions like, "Who was that?" Or, "So you're close with them?" It's subtle, but it's there. A flicker of something they can't fully hide. That reaction doesn't always come from possessiveness. It comes from emotional investment. They may not have told you how they feel, but deep down, they don't want to imagine you with someone else. It's that quiet fear of losing something they never even had the courage to claim. Sometimes their protectiveness shows in other ways too. like getting defensive if someone hurts you, or stepping in when they think someone's taking advantage of you. They might act like it's just concern, but it's more than that. It's care, mixed with the frustration of not being able to express it openly. When someone's feelings are purely friendly, they don't feel uneasy about you getting attention from others. But when those feelings run deeper, even the smallest mention of someone else can make their guard slip. So pay attention to how they react when your attention drifts to another person. That quiet discomfort, that moment of hesitation, often reveals what their words are too afraid to say. Sign 6, they avoid talking about what this is. Before we talk about the final sign, let's look at one that can be both confusing and painful. When someone avoids defining the relationship, they enjoy your company. They text you often. They make you feel special. But the moment the topic turns toward us, dating, or where this is going, they suddenly go quiet or change the subject. It's not that they don't feel anything. In fact, they probably feel too much. That's exactly why they hesitate to give it a name. They're caught between two powerful emotions, wanting more and being afraid to step into it. Their heart says, I want this, but their mind whispers, what if it ends? So instead of moving forward, they linger in the safe middle, close enough to feel connected, but distant enough to protect themselves. You'll notice how they create comfort without commitment. They'll say things like, I like spending time with you instead of I like you. They'll act like you're theirs but never call it love. It's not because they don't care. It's because labeling it makes it real. And real means risk. Sometimes they avoid the talk because they fear losing you if things get serious. Other times it's because they're not ready to face how deep their feelings go. Either way, silence becomes their shield, the space where emotions can exist without accountability. If you've ever felt that unspoken tension between you and someone, where everything feels like more, but nothing said out loud, you've probably seen this sign. The silence itself may be speaking louder than any words they've ever said. Before we talk about the final thoughts, let's take a moment to understand what you should and shouldn't do if you suspect someone is fighting their feelings for you. Because while it's tempting to decode every action, the truth is, people's emotions are delicate and so is timing. First, stay observant. Instead of jumping to conclusions, simply watch how their actions align with their words. Often consistency tells you more than confessions ever will. If their behavior shows care, effort, and presence, even if they haven't said it outright, it probably means something real is there. Second, trust your intuition. When your gut tells you someone feels something but is holding back, that instinct is usually right. Our intuition often senses emotional energy long before our mind catches up. But don't let that intuition turn into obsession. Stay calm, patient, and grounded in how you feel. When the moment feels right, communicate gently. You don't have to confront or demand answers. Sometimes a simple, honest conversation like, I feel like there's something unspoken between us, am I wrong? Can open doors they were too afraid to unlock. Gentleness often reveals truth faster than pressure ever could. Now, here's what not to do. Don't assume you're imagining things just because they act uncertain. People can care deeply and still be scared to show it. But also don't push harshly if they're not ready. Love that's forced out too soon can close off instead of open up. And through it all, remember this, your feelings matter too. If their silence or mixed behavior is starting to hurt you, it's okay to want clarity. You deserve honesty, even if it means hearing something you didn't expect. Caring about someone should never come at the cost of your own peace of mind. So there you have it, 6 tiny signs that someone might be fighting their feelings for you. From the nervous glances and awkward moments to the mixed signals, the quiet support, the hidden jealousy, and the way they avoid talking about what this is. Every action tells a small piece of the story. If you've noticed several of these signs, it could mean that someone close to you is struggling to hide emotions they don't quite know how to express. It's not always easy to read, and it's not always clear, but remember, the heart has its own language. Sometimes it speaks softly through hesitation, care, and silence. If this video helped you understand those little clues better, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps our channel grow. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden side of emotions, subscribe to Psycho Library for more deep, relatable insights into human behavior and relationships. Don't forget to share this video with a friend who might be going through something similar. It might give them the clarity they've been searching for. And always keep this in mind, you both deserve honesty, even if one of you isn't ready to face it yet. Because love, no matter how quietly it hides, always finds its way to the surface.